One of the most famous landmarks and attractions in Washington, D.C. is the Smithsonian Institution, and one of the reasons it's famous is that it's the largest museum complex in the world. Today, I'll be taking you through its most popular museum, the National Museum of Natural History. The story of NMNH actually starts across the mall at this building. This is the Smithsonian Castle, the first Smithsonian building to be completed in 1855. Back then, of course, the castle was the only Smithsonian building, so it was where the Smithsonian's fast increasing collections were put on display. Among them were the natural history objects, and for the first 30 years of the Smithsonian's history, the castle was the natural history building. However, the Smithsonian collection soon grew too large for one building to hold them, so they built another facility next door. And this is it. This facility is now referred to as the Arts and Industries Building, but back in the day, it housed all of the Smithsonian exhibits, including the natural history specimens. The Smithsonian's first fossil displays were actually in this building, which opened in 1881. However, by the early 1900s, it was clear that, once again, there were just too many items to hold in the Arts and Industries Building, so the collections had to move once again. And they ended up here. This is the current NMNH building. It's been open to the public since 1910, and it houses most of the 146 million natural history specimens the Smithsonian has collected over the years. This is our destination today, so join me inside and we'll dive right in. Now that we're inside, this is the rotunda at NMNH. And its centerpiece is this bull elephant, the largest land animal alive today. And it really is a spectacular creature. This one has to measure at least 12 feet high at the shoulder. Elephants are often thought of as herd animals, but this is actually only half true. Only the female elephants form long-term herds, so if you see an elephant herd in a documentary or on safari, you're looking at a herd of almost exclusively female animals. Elephants have a very strong sense of community as well, so all the members of a herd will be a very large extended family. You'll see mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts, cousins, and more all traveling together. However, the male elephants, like this one, will be raised by the herd for a while, but eventually they will strike out on their own. Most male elephants live more or less solitary lives, but every now and then they will group together and form bachelor gangs of sorts too. Of course, the two most classic elephant characteristics are the trunk and the tusks. Believe it or not, the tusks are actually giant upper incisor teeth, the ones right at the front of the mouth, which have been heavily altered. Historically, both male and female elephants have had tusks, although sadly more and more females nowadays are losing them because of ivory poaching. Males usually have larger tusks than females, and elephants use them for all sorts of different things. The obvious function is defense, spearing predators and launching them, for instance, but they also use them to strip bark off trees, dig up roots and other food, and as leverage to move large objects such as boulders or tree trunks. The other classic elephant feature is the trunk, and despite what it might look like, there are actually no bones in that entire giant appendage. Elephant trunks are just muscles and nerves, which makes them very flexible and capable of doing all sorts of things, such as grabbing onto stuff, touching other elephants to strengthen their social bonds, and even sucking up water to spray it onto themselves and everything else. It has to be one of the most unique adaptations in the animal kingdom. So, that was the rotunda and the iconic elephant as a bit of preview of coming attractions. Next up, we will dive into the exhibits. So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And thank you very much again for watching.